Hi there. In this video, I'm going to show you how to launch a cheap, easy to manage landing page server. So if you want to use landing page builders like Convertri or LanderLab, that's fine. But if you want to use more typical affiliate style landing pages where you want more control over everything, or you might want to use the scripting language PHP for some functionality on the back end, then you're going to need your own server. In this video, I'll guide you through what I think is the simplest way to set up a landing page server, manage it, and access it and upload your landing pages. So the first thing you'll need is to pick a hosting provider. If you click on the marketplace link within the FunnelFlux user interface down here in the bottom left, you can see here under hosting providers that we recommend Vultr and DigitalOcean. Both of these links are also referral links that give you free credit for the first 14 and 60 days. So use these just to save a little bit of money with testing. We also have a section here on landing pages where we recommend LanderLab and Convertri as sort of hosted page builders. And Pure Lander is very useful if you just want a depository of classic affiliate templates to source from. Of course, you can also use competitive intelligence tools to find pages in the wild, but Pure Lander has got a very big list of easy to download pages. So the first thing I'm going to do is go through to Vultr and show you how to set up a server. Before you get to that, you're going to need a domain that you actually use for the landing page system and for the control panel. You'll want to have a Cloudflare account or similar and have that open so we can add DNS records. And you're going to want to use something like FileZilla for FTP and actually managing the uploads to your server. It's up to you what you want to use here, but I would generally recommend FileZilla. If you want, or if you work across multiple devices and computers and you use something like Dropbox or Google Drive, you can also search for FileZilla Portable and download a portable app and put that in your Dropbox or Google Drive so that your FTP accounts and information can be accessed from any computer. Okay, heading over to Vultr here, I'm going to go to Deploy and just click this button. And what I want to do is use a system called CloudPanel, and I want to use their marketplace to install this. So here, pick Cloud Compute Shared CPU because we want the cheapest server possible within reason. I'm going to put this server in Singapore close to me just to make things faster. Now I want to click on Marketplace Apps, and I'm looking for CloudPanel. You can already kind of see it here, but let's search for it anyway. I'm going to do CloudPanel 2 on Ubuntu 24.04. For the actual server itself, you can use AMD or Intel high performance. 1 vCPU with 2 GB of RAM is perfectly fine for a landing page server because it's not going to be that heavily loaded. Here, I'm going to turn auto backups off because I don't really need it. I don't really need to back up the server frequently because I'll have all these landing pages locally anyway. Okay, IPv6 we can turn on by default. Down here, you don't need to worry about SSH key. And here you can just put landing page server as the name. Okay, let's click deploy. Now since we're using the marketplace app, it's going to start and do setup and installation, and it's going to give us some instructions on what to do next as well. So it'll take a few minutes to actually start this installation process, so I'm just going to pause the video until that's complete. Okay, it's now been about 5 minutes and I think everything is ready to go. So now I can click landing page server to go into the details. You can see here it says a warning that it might still be booting up and so on, and that you can view the console to monitor progress. If I click this, let's see what it's got here. I can see it's doing nothing. If you open this and you can see it going through lots of lines and sort of it's loading lots of information, then it's not done yet. So close it and wait a few minutes. Okay, let's get through to the installation. So if we scroll down here, you can see the app instructions. The first thing it says to do is load your IP address, then colon 8443, which is the port number that we need to load. Okay, and it has a list of things here. Ignore the self-signed certificate warning, and then create an admin user, and not much else. Okay, so let's copy this IP address, open a new tab, put colon 8443. Now we can click continue to site. Okay, oh, it said we need to use HTTPS, so let's do that. Advanced, proceed. There we go. Okay, so let's put Zeno as my name, put my name as Zeno, my email, put my FunnelFlux email. Password, you can do whatever you want here. I'm just going to use 123ABC just to make things easy, but please use a useful or secure password. Okay, now I'm going to click Create User. Oh, okay, let's generate one then. I'll go here to Generate, and I'll make a longer, happier password. I'll just quickly put this in a text document so it doesn't get forgotten. Okay, there we go. So by the way, if you don't use something like LastPass or Bitwarden or something for password management, please do. It'll save your life to use something like this in the future. Okay, let's use my username, my password, and login. Okay, so now we're into the dashboard here. Now what we want to do is first get the domain set up for loading this control panel, because we really don't want to have to use the IP address directly and have to go through these SSL like unsafe, yes, please navigate kind of errors. So I'm going to go to the admin area and check here first. I want to go through these sections and kind of see where I set up the domain. So instance, settings, nope, it's not in here. Settings maybe, general, here we go, CloudPanel custom domain. So I'm going to put cpanel.onlyforyou.pro since that's the domain that I have open here in Cloudflare. Okay, let's click Save. Okay, and now what I want to do is make an A record for this. So I want to take the cPanel subdomain, come here, and I want to click Add Record. I'm going to add an A record with the name cPanel, that's for the subdomain, and I want it to go to the IP address of the server, which is this IP address here, which I can also copy from here. So I'm going to go through here to Cloudflare, put this on. You can see here that it says it's going to issue a Let's Encrypt certificate, so it's going to try and deal with SSL itself. You can see here it tried to do a lookup and couldn't find it, so I need to add this first. So I'm going to turn this proxy status off for the moment, because it's going to try and look up this record and find that it's pointing to the server. When you turn this proxy status on, the traffic goes through Cloudflare's servers, and that can confuse systems that are trying to look this up and find this record here. So do it with proxy off at the beginning. So I'm going to click Save. We should see that adds to my account. You can see here that's now added that. Now I'm going to go back here and try this again. Okay, this might take a few seconds. Might even reject on the first attempt, and we might need to wait a few minutes and attempt again. Okay, I'm going to pause the video in case this takes a few minutes. Oh no, there we go. So you can see this is added. Great. So now if I open this, okay, you can see it goes to the login page. Perfect. So now we can use this instead. I can put my username as Zeno, close this old one. I'll paste this password. Where is it? It's in my text editor. Here it is. Okay, there we go. So we've set up the domain for using this control panel. Now what I want to do is add a site. So I can click Add Site. Here, for whatever the site you want to use, you can use PHP or static HTML. I don't think it matters too much. I'm going to use PHP. For the application, I don't want anything here, just leave it alone. And I'm going to put landers.onlyforyou.pro. That's my domain. PHP version, just leave it on the latest, that's fine. You can see here it has site user password and site user. Okay, this is for SSH. You're not really going to need this because we're going to set up FTP users. So click Create. Okay, that's now made this domain here, or this landersonlyforyou.pro. We need to set that up for in Cloudflare in terms of DNS. So what I'm going to do is come back here, and actually I'll go through to look at managing the site first. If I click Manage, here you can see these various things at the top. It has the domain name, the root directory, which is basically the folder that everything's going to be stored in, site user settings, PHP settings, stuff that you don't really need, page speed, which you can certainly turn on and save. This is a sort of web server extension for improving performance. vhost, which means virtual host, certain config here, things about databases, and so on. Okay, it's got a self-signed SSL certificate, but I really kind of want to use this behind Cloudflare. If I go to security, you can see here, Cloudflare, only allow traffic from Cloudflare. So for this, ideally, we kind of have all of our landing pages loading through Cloudflare. So what I'm going to do is turn this on. Okay, and what I then want to do is get this IP address, and I want to make this landers record. So I'm going to go here, click add record, and put landers. I'm going to put the IP address of the server again. Okay, and now what this setting has done, it has made it so that if I have that proxy setting off, traffic is probably not going to be allowed to go to the server directly. So this is something you can do to kind of protect the landing page server a little bit. Now if I copy this or open it, you can see here it loads hello world. So this is some default page that is configured within CloudPanel. So great, we can see it's working, we can see this domain is working, we are ready to go. The next step is setting up FTP so that we can actually access and host our pages, right? So if you go through to FTP here, we want to create an FTP user. Okay, let's click add user. Let's call this Zeno FTP. Here's the password, and here's the home directory that it's going to load. Technically, I think you could make a FTP user that goes to like the parent directory so that it can view all of your pages if you've added a lot of them, but we'll leave it as it is for now. Okay, I'll just copy this password in case I need it later and it doesn't show it to me again. Add user. Okay, so now what I want to do is try and access this server and this sort of landing page host from FileZilla via FTP. So if I open FileZilla, which I think I've already opened, get rid of that. All right, FileZilla. Okay, from here, I want to click on this button here, the Site Manager. Load this. I want to click New Site. And here we can call this Landers Only for You. Call it whatever you want. And for the details here of what I want to use for FTP, I probably want to use FTP because that's the type of user I created. I want to use the IP address of the server, so this one here. And for the user, I want to use Zeno, and for the password, I want to use this password that was given. Okay, let's see if it connects just with these default details. Okay, yes, can save passwords. Connecting. Okay, you can see it's not connecting yet. So something must be up here, right? Because it didn't connect very quickly to the server. Okay, so let's go back through to the page itself and find out why this might be. Okay, so in terms of FTP and like connecting, the next thing I would do is check their documentation to make sure we have everything correct in terms of the FTP user, the port that's being used, and so on. So I'm just going to quickly look for FTP in here. Okay, adding an FTP user. It says go through and add things here. FTP login, use something like FileZilla. Ensure this pro FTPD masquerade address has been correctly set up. So maybe we're missing some setup there. Let's check this. Okay, and it says for pro FTPD, this is the FTP server that lets us log in. For connecting via FTP, you need to enter the instance IP in the field masquerade address. This is under this section here. Okay, so we need to go to the instance settings here. We can probably see that FileZilla has not connected. Okay, great. So we're obviously missing something. Let's come back here and go to admin area, go to instance. Okay, and then from here we want to go to settings, I think. Okay, masquerade address causes the server to display this. Coming back here, it says the masquerade address causes the instance display network. You need to enter the instance IP. Okay, so it's telling us what we need to do is take this instance IP and we need to put this here. I'm not quite sure why it wasn't filled out before, but let's click save. Okay, what else does it say here? Okay, anything else to do? No. Reboot the instance after changing that so that all services are aware of time zone change. Okay, that's for time zone. Okay, so we've changed this. let's see if FileZilla connects yet again. Okay, still not connecting. Okay, maybe we need to reboot, not quite clear, but I'll pause the video and reboot the server to see if that's what was required. Okay, I've rebooted the server, but that didn't seem to fix it. Coming back to the documentation on FTP here, we can see the second step is go to the firewall in the admin area and add the following rule, where it has FTP, port range 20 to 21, source my IP, and then source 8.8.8 here. Okay, so let's go to security, rules, okay, and it looks like we need to add a new rule for FTP, source my IP, and you can see my IP address here. You know, let Xeno use FTP. If you don't care that much about security, then you could probably put anywhere IPv4 or something like this to allow everything. I would recommend that because otherwise it's a little bit annoying to change this every time your IP might rotate from your internet service provider. So I'll add this. Let's go. Hopefully that should update immediately. We shouldn't need to actually change anything on the server or reboot it. Now if I go back to FTP for yet another attempt, there we go. You can see it worked immediately then, right? So it was the firewall and possibly that masquerade address that needed to be changed first. Allow insecure FTP. Great. Okay, password incorrect. Okay, wrong password for Xeno. Let me just check this again. Okay, FTP normal Xeno. Oh, it's meant to be Xeno-FTP, right? Connect. There we go. Okay, and you can see here we have this index.php file. Okay, if I try to edit this, and I'll use just default editor for the moment, Notepad. You can see here it's got this hello world. Okay, let's add a bunch of 5s here and save. Okay, upload. Now if I go to landers.onlyforyou.pro, now you can see this 555 here. Okay, so it's working. It's clearly loading the page that I expect. And we can see via FTP that it's loaded this sort of root directory here. What I can also do is add another FTP user that lets you access all of your domains and sites that are connected. So within FTP here, let's go to, I think I need to go to manage for one of these to actually deal with FTP. Here I can create a new FTP user. Let's try to put Xeno all. Let's copy this password and change this to home directory, just htdocs. Add user. Okay, now let's go back here to the site manager. Let's duplicate this and put all. Put my password here, change this to Xeno all. Okay, let's just abort and do in this tab. There we go. Okay, and now with this user that I created, where remember I changed the home directory to be htdocs, now you can see my Landers site here. So if you're using lots of different sites, you'll probably want to create one of these users where you're kind of a directory up, right? So you can quickly go through your different domains, different sort of sites without having to use separate users. Okay, that's pretty much everything for that. If we come back as well to the DNS, here we can use the control panel without Cloudflare proxying. That's completely fine. As long as we have our actual pages, like our websites hosting Landers, using the proxy mode, then we should get all of the benefits of Cloudflare caching, performance, those kinds of things. But tweaking your Cloudflare rules for performance caching, that kind of stuff, is a completely sort of separate topic, so I won't cover those kinds of things here. Okay, hopefully that's been helpful, if not a little bit verbose, in showing you how to set up a basic landing page server. This costs just over $10 per month, but gives you a very easy to access server for uploading pages and editing things. Now in a different video, I'll go through how to use different platform providers like LanderLab and Converttree, and how to also download landing pages from something like PureLander and use them on this specific landing page server for your landing pages within FunnelFlux. I hope that's been helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.